Hello, it's Angeline here. Today, of you have ever stopped for a moment and think every single day, if you're running your business or if you have a 9-to-5 job, what is the purpose of you going to work every single day? How many of you have ever wondering that I want financial independence, I'm working very hard for the money, but have you ever wondering what does that even mean to you? Do you know over the years how many people that I talk to, the first thing that we sit down, I ask them what do they really want financially. They all tell me that, Angeline, I want to become financially independent. I want to have financial security. I want to have financial stability. And my question for you is, what does that even mean to you? When you pursue something, do you even know what are you pursuing for? Would that be okay? I share a quick story about myself and how do I discover this true wealth formula. Quick story about my background. If you read my story, you know that when I grew up, I only see my parents twice a year because of money, because they had to leave me for another town to make a living. And grew up, I only got to see them twice a year. And because of that, it planting a seed in my head that I never, ever, ever again in my life that I will worry about money. I want to be financially independent. I want to not ever have to worry about money. And I certainly don't want any of my family suffer due to any financial circumstances. So when I came to the US, I thought in order to make a lot of money, then I need to get a degree. So I went to New Jersey to get a master's degree in business. And I thought after I graduated, I gonna be wealthy, right? I gonna be financially free. But the reality crushes me. I only got offered the minimum wage. And that was the moment I start to think, how can I become financially free if I only work for the minimum wage? And then at that time, I picked up the book. It's called It's called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. I know some of you may have read it before. Some of you may not. If you haven't, that's a great book to jumpstart your success. And I start reading that book. It changed my mindset. It tell me that, hey, if you want to become financially independent, you need to move from the left side to the right side, which is from the self-employee or employee to the right side, which is entrepreneur or business owner. And that was the mindset, 360-degree mindset shift, because we never heard about becoming an entrepreneur. My mom certainly didn't teach me any of that. And the school never mentioned how do you have your own business or how do you become an investor. But what I learned from that book, it makes sense to me. And also with my personal experience, it makes sense to me because if I want to become financially independent, I really cannot work for somebody because my income always capped. So that book opened, planting a seed for me to pursue the journey to become an entrepreneur and investor. And the book, it's brilliant. It tells you a lot of great concept, but it didn't tell you how do you do it, right? So what can I do? There's no school teach you. There's nothing. So what I did is I read all kinds of books that related to wealth creation. I attending to all kinds of webinar, seminar. At that time, we don't have webinar. We do seminars. I went to learn. And whatever people talk about, right? A stock can build wealth and real estate, you can build wealth. I do all of them. And I have a lot of great success in the past 10 years. I have lots of great success. I've done many things right. I started my real estate investment company. I started to have a lot of success with that. However, I also make a lot of mistakes. I still remember my first real estate deal was a flipping deal. I lost almost $50,000. And after that, I listened to other people to do stocks, options on Bitcoins. And unfortunately, I lost a lot of money during the process. So at that time, I was very frustrated. I said, my dream is I want to become financially independent. But how come I follow the book? I go to the webinar. I even have the financial advisor. I even went to the financial advisor. But how come I don't have the financial freedom that I wanted? And then later on, I realized that I discovered this true wealth formula. If you really want to have financial independence, financial freedom, you need to have clarity on the step number one. It is you need to understand what is wealth. How is wealth measured? Many people, they thought that wealth is measured by money. I used to think that way. We used to think that in order to be wealthy, have financial freedom, then we need to have a lot of money. I don't know how much money I'm going to have, but I know I need to have a lot of money. But the ultra wealthy, the way they look at wealth, it's not measured in terms of money. It's measured in terms of time. So let me ask you this question. If you would stop working today, for example, you lose the ability to work, maybe life-changing event happen, maybe you got laid off from your job, maybe your business going down, right? For all kinds of reasons that you lose the ability to work. How much the money in your bank account can last you? How much is that money gonna last you? And do you know what? Sadly, the statistics shows that a lot of Americans, they are only one paycheck away from bankruptcy. Or maybe you are a successful real estate investor. And my question for you is, if you stop investing, for some reason you cannot invest, maybe due to all kinds of circumstances, right? You cannot invest anymore. What happened to your income? How long can you survive? Maybe you are a high-paid executive working for a company, right? And what if you lose the ability to work? Your income stop immediately. How long would your money sustain you? So when you look at wealth in this way, you truly understand if you want to have financial freedom, independence, security that you want to have, you need to after this one thing, which is two words, okay? It's called passive income. I want you to think about this. How many of you would love to get to the point that you work because you choose to, not because you have to? You work, you love to do what you do because that's your passion. You love to serve and you love your job, you love your business. Whether people pay you or not, you just love doing it. How many of you would love to get to that level? If that's what you truly want, there's one thing that you're after. It's called passive income. And when was the last time your parents teach you what is passive income? When was the last time the school teach you how to create passive income? Right? So if you know, how do you know the things that you don't know? Like before, I didn't know. I was blinding, shooting in the dark. Not until I realized in order to have the freedom that I have, I need to have this one thing, which is passive income. I want you to think about this. Every single day when you wake up, you know that your bank account is full. Let's just say you finish this month and next month your money coming in again. Your money just flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing like a waterfall. You turn it on and then you just keep coming regardless you want it or no. How would that make you feel? Do you feel you have more control of your life? Do you feel that you have more joy in your life? Don't get me wrong. Money is not everything, but money absolutely can provide us a very comfortable, very, very comfortable life. I want you to think about this. If you have all that passive income coming in for you, do you feel have that sense of freedom within you? The answer is absolutely. So what I want you to discuss, what's the step one to create true wealth? You need to understand what are you pursuing for? How do you measure wealth? It's not by the amount of money that you accumulate. It's It's by like how long those money can last you. And then the step number 2, you got to understand, in order to have the ultimate freedom, there's one thing that you after, it's passive income, right? So there's a 3 level of financial dreams. Number 1, it's financial security. Number 2, it's financial independence. Number 3, it's financial freedom. I don't have time to get into this. That's what I have this, my weekly national master class. This is what I teach. But today I'd like to introduce you to the concept about having clarity on what are you shooting for. So now we already established the concept that you need to have you need to have passive income, right? So what level of passive income is considered financial secure? What level of passive income is considered financial independent? What level of passive income is considered ultimate financial freedom? It's all step by step. Unfortunately, many people, they don't know about this. They didn't teach this. It's not our fault, because I believe that this is something that need to be taught. Unfortunately, the school or the system, they didn't teach us any of this stuff. You know what breaking my heart when I sit down and sometimes I talk to all walks of people in their life. I talk to teachers, I talk to many nurses, business owners, investors. I talk to many of those people. And the thing that made me very, very sad, it's I've seen like a lot of nurses, a lot of teachers. What they do, it's very, very meaningful. And then it has a generational impact for our next generation. However, this is the group of people, they love to serve, they love to give. But unfortunately, they didn't get paid a lot. A normal teacher probably get paid maybe $2,000 to $3,000 a month, right? So you think about this, you work for your whole life, 40 years. You're earning $2,000 or $3,000. You put your heart and soul into what you love and what you do. But at the end of the day, when you get to the retirement, you realize that you cannot retire. And guess what? The worst scenario is I seen their children like don't even know, they just follow the parents, right? Like I still remember this one conversation and asked this person, I said, so what is your kids, the future career gonna be? She told me he want to become a teacher. I said, that's great. You want to become a teacher. But how much money would he need to for his college? How much would that student loan gonna be? And then she told me at least 60,000. And then I said, okay, so let's just say your son go to get the degree and have 60,000 in student loan, okay? And then he become a teacher. How much money can a teacher make? 2,000 or 3,000. If you know that 2,000 or 3,000 a month, it's really not enough to live. So you make 2,000 or 3,000. After paying your bill, everything, you barely have any money left. So if you don't have any money left, where do you have extra money to pay down your student loan? Where do you have extra money to invest so that you can build the passive income? Did you see that? It is a rat race. It's a generational curse that I believe that we need to break. So that's why I am very passionate about teaching this concept. So I developed a one sheet, Cracking the Wealth Code Blueprints, and I want to give this to the world. And I teach this in my weekly master class. Actually, I recently just relaunched this webinar, and our first webinar gonna be next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. I really would love to invite you to be my guest, to join me for an hour and to learn. I will take you from A to Z, step by step. How do you crack that wealth code? How do you create passive income? And how do you determine and have clarity for your financial dreams that you want to accomplish, because this is the critical step. Think about this. If you are flying in the dark, driving in the dark, you don't even know what do you aiming for. What are you accomplish? We're just busy, but busy in that rat race and never get out. So join me next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. And then let's crack that wealth code together. So my name is Angeline Waymeyer. I hope I add value to you today. I hope I can shift your mind to look at wealth, look at money in a different way. And then I want to planting a seed in your mind that after this one thing, which is called passive income, do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes to learn about this topic, because this one thing, it will change your life. My name is Angeline Waymeyer. I believe in the power of you. I believe that you can do anything. You can have anything that you want as long as you have that clarity. And that's the step one to cracking the wealth code.